Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of, nigga. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene, nigga. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
Dude,
Everything. You can imagine everything. Private jets, Miami, hundreds of thousands in one weekend, 2 tour buses at Atlanta. Like, cannot front on how I had my boys moving. And I'm only talking about this because you was there.
Jim Jones straight up lost it, man. Total meltdown on Memphis Bleek's podcast. The kind of wild scene that sticks in your head forever. What made it even wilder? Bleek doesn't even rock with Tony Yayo like that. So how did it all spiral this bad between them? Let's take it back because this one turned messy fast. Memphis Bleek has always been Jay-Z's most loyal soldier, like his little bro in the game, always riding for him no matter what. That kind of loyalty doesn't crack, even when the room's full of tension and eyes are watching, but that's exactly where the heat started brewing. Tony Yayo's been tossing shade at Jay for years. Not playful, not jokes, but real slick shots. He once claimed that Jay tried to block 50 Cent from hitting the Super Bowl halftime stage, and that's when Yayo's grudge went nuclear. Ever since then, that bitterness never cooled off, not even a little. Every time Jay's name popped up, Yayo would slide in a sly comment, reminding everyone he still felt that move was foul.
A lot of, me from the hood, so people look at Bleek and don't understand the business he's doing. They always look at Jay like, oh,
yeah.
Nah, Nick, Bleek
That's
out
why
here
you got,
make
like Yayo talking about, Jay don't take care of. I don't need Jay to go on tour.
Don't smoke hard coke,
Yo, chill.
You look like you need to be taken care of, nigga. You look like you need to go to the dentist. You need to look like you need to brush your teeth. You look like you need hygiene, nigga. You look like you need help. Tell your man 50 send you an ounce or something, yo.
You
might need 2 ounces, nigga.
That's why
Pay the full movie, nigga. I got a G for every bump in your face, nigga. I promise you that, nigga. I promise you that, nigga.
That's why he worried about
peon. You broke, nigga. You know I got it, nigga. What's up? The bag is up. The both sides.
Hey, yo.
Hey, Flea, where the both sides?
Let me finish that off. Ain't nobody taking care of over here, B.
Oh.
Nah, you good, my nigga. I fucking love it. They deserve it. They need to hear this shit, man, because they bugging out here. All these niggas worrying about who taking care of who. We take care of we. Ain't no who nigga. Take care of who, nigga. You know who doing it. We live. We getting money.
Nigga. We take care of everybody, nigga. We take care of each other, nigga.
That's a fact, my G, but linking back up with you, Jim, we missed out on a lot of opportunity, bro, but we ain't gonna miss it out going forward. We need to put some pain together, bro.
And when Bleek, Jay's ride or die since day one, ended up face to face with Yayo, man, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. It was only a matter of time before words started cutting deep. The energy in that room, straight pressure. No filters, no fake smiles, just raw tension waiting to explode. And who lit the fuse? Jim Jones, man. He sparked the kind of drama that doesn't stay private. It blew up in front of everybody. Then Tony Yayo took it to a whole other level. When he pulled up on Shannon Sharp's show, he didn't hold back at all. He came out swinging, throwing pure disrespect like he had something to prove. He straight up called Jay-Z a hater, saying Harv never helps anyone, never lifts his people, and only looks out for himself. But the wildest part, the real fire wasn't even aimed just at Jay. It hit Memphis Bleek right in the middle of the storm. Yayo went off saying, look at Memphis Bleek, he not shining. Jay-Z don't take care of him. 50 takes care of me. And boom, that one line blew the internet up. Clips went viral instantly.
Me and other niggas, right? Stack Bundles, one of my favorite rappers in the world.
Rest in peace, Stack
Bundles.
Rest in peace.
Far Rock, you understand? Jim Jones, he had Stack Bundles, he had Max B. I looked at it like, great. Stack Bundles had a portion, was still in the hood. No disrespect to Jim Jones. Fifth had me in Battery Park. I could walk out that barefoot.
Get the socks.
That's when a nigga love you, nigga. You can get the socks, nigga. Sneakers Dior, nigga. But I'm walking out there barefoot. That's when you know a nigga love you, boy. Because he making sure you don't get your shit split. Because you go back to 134, anywhere, Baisley, Brooklyn, shit get split. Once I got shit, nigga shot my shit up. Bentleys and all that. Y'all can get that sneaker, just toss that over there. My shit's official. You know what I'm saying? Yo, look, but nigga put me in position. Rest in peace of Stack, but Stack got killed in the project with a Porsche.
Yeah.
Nigga, come on, nigga, I'm from the hood, nigga. Y'all niggas thought, nigga. I done been around the Black Justice and seen the Preems and all that, nigga. The E-Money bags, all that, nigga. The younger niggas under that.
So everything you
Maserati Fox. Real
That-
nigga, huh?
The way everything that you saw, what would you change?
I just pray to God every time I leave the house.
But what would you change?
Change what?
Pass the cup. I heard you talk about all the shit you went through, all the shit niggas is still going through.
What God,
one of them
listen,
cups
what
for
God got planned for you is planned for you, brother. God already knows what's planned for you in life.
God planned for you to come here and spaz on y'all niggas tonight.
I spaz?
I'm just saying, it was a plan.
Yeah, I do be on some Hollywood shit. It was like, yo, I gotta stop.
Yeah.
Stop talking about you. I don't like when you
Yeah, it's messed up. You don't treat Vlad like that, bro. See, niggas is. See how niggas is? He ain't treat Vlad like this. He ain't treat Vlad like this.
Fans started taking sides like it was a rap civil war. Jay-Z's camp versus 50's crew. And suddenly, this wasn't even about music anymore. It turned into a battle of pride, loyalty, and who's really eating out here. But let's keep it real. Since when did bragging about who's got the richer friend become something to flex about? Talking like, which grown man's the better provider? Sounds straight up embarrassing. Nobody should ever be proud of living off another man's wallet, because once that money dries up, that whole lifestyle fades just as fast. Real loyalty isn't about who buys you things. It's about who teaches you how to move like a boss, not a dependent. Jay might not be cutting checks, but let's not forget he built an empire. Meanwhile, Yayo's out here measuring success by who keeps his plate full. That ain't loyalty. That's survival dressed up as pride.
The problem is, when she was on the show, she had said that she had heard about you wasn't giving Stack money, but people don't know that when Stack asked you for the bread, you were going to the bank. I think the bank was closed. Something happened because me and Bino talked about it. I remember being there, and you was going to give him
more money after the money he spent because we was on tour. He like, geez, I spent all that tour money, geez, on Pop, I bug it. Whatever he did, brought another Porsche, BMW. He like, yo, Pop, geez, you said closed mouth don't get fed, geez, I'm Pop, geez, I'm hurting.
It's a fact.
And when I told him, I said, yo, go get 25 grand from the bank tomorrow. He like, oh, yo, what's up with that Wrangler truck? I'm like, I left that shit in Brooklyn. I don't even want that shit. I don't even know what block it's on. Matter of fact, it's by the car shop where I got the Maserati from. He like, you let me get that, geez. I'm like, go take it. You probably got to get a new key. He like, oh, I'm going to go get that tomorrow, geez. You different, geez. And we all know the rest of the story.
Why do you think that people have this misconception of what happened? Why do you think even her? Why do you think that? Where did that come from?
Nobody likes to hear the truth.
Because we were there. Bino get mad all the time. And he gets offended. And he was one of the people that called me. He was like, that's not true. They think that, what they think is that Stack asked you, he told you he wanted to leave. They said that Stack told you he wanted to leave, he wanted to move, and you didn't move him out. But that's not true.
You want to hear that story? All right, for Stacks and them, I was about to buy Stacks, the kid Max and Melly, a whole brownstone in New Jersey. None of them wanted to leave the hood. And I was not about to waste my money. And I was what I offered them. I went shopping for the shit and all that type of shit.
Yeah, we remember that, right, Bass? We remember that. Shout out to Bass. I remember the conversation.
And I'm like, yo, you bugging. You want to, like, yo, you can go to the hood every day, but you're going to be living in Jersey. Like, you're going to be living better than, like, you heard? And you don't have to worry about paying for no rent or nothing like that. I'm just trying to get you niggas out the hood. Melly, too. Melly ended up getting shot, right? Like none of these would listen, and everything that happened that you know can happen in the hood end up happening and shit like that. You know what I mean? But everything to try to protect them for what I know could have happened to them, I tried. You heard? From getting all of these cars to getting all these everything you can imagine, everything. Private jets, Miami, hundreds of thousands in one weekend, 2 tour buses, Atlanta, like. Cannot front on how I had my boys moving. And I'm only talking about this because you was there and you and Stacks were best friends with Bino, couple others and like that. Other than I don't even talk to people about Stacks and what went on, but we was setting it out. It was not on our level when we was moving. And
now he's out here flipping the script, trying to paint Jay-Z as the selfish one. But let's be real, that whole rant sounded like straight up jealousy. He was reaching hard, twisting loyalty into weakness, and it backfired bad. You could hear it in his tone. That wasn't confidence, that was pure salt dripping off every single word. Yayo really sat there on camera acting like being on 50 Cent's payroll was something to flex about. Like that's some badge of honor. Come on now. That's not street code, that's straight crash dummy energy. Real men don't brag about who's feeding them. They build with their circle, not under it. Flexing about being spoon-fed like it's a buffet? Nah, that's not how the game works. The game's about standing tall, building independence, and moving smart, not depending on someone else's pockets. And Bleek, oh, he wasn't letting that slick talk slide one bit. When Memphis Bleek pulled up on Drink Champs, the whole vibe changed instantly. He didn't wild out or get loud. He kept it calm, cool, and collected, but the words hit like a body shot. He said there was never any real smoke between him and Yayo before. They'd crossed paths a couple of times, maybe even worked once or twice. But after that disrespect, everything shifted. The vibe flipped instantly. You could feel it in the air. It wasn't all-out war, but Bleek wasn't playing friendly anymore.
Fourth tour.
Yeah.
You know, we're fifth, and we still touring. Still. And I do my own tours too for people. Oh, yo.
You see, hey.
I do my own tours. I did tours in Canada. I did a tour across the whole Germany and the Swiss Alps. And that's why I don't care about the hate. Cause I'm like, I got the possibility to do my own tour. Like something with Memphis Bleek. Memphis Bleek said to Nori, Yayo said Jay-Z didn't have us on tour like he did, or I eat my own halal. I eat my own halal too, if you want to say that. To Memphis Bleek, I just came off my last tour. All I'm saying is when you see Jay-Z in a setting, he never really, when he's doing a Beyonce show or whatever, you don't see Memphis Bleek on the stage and him being brought out. You know, even if I'm doing the hype man shit with 50, he's bringing me out. I'm making money. I'm going to—
That's that man girl too. That's it. That's Hove's wife tour.
Yeah, that's Hove wife tour.
So I believe if Hove was out on his own, he would bring Bleek out. There is no need for him to bring Bleek in a situation where it looked like if this was last tour you're talking about with the Cowboy Carter.
Right.
Yeah.
So to me, because I look at Bleek as a loyal guy, like I'm a loyal guy to Jay. But I look at like Fifth, my guy Hervé, one day we had TRL. And it's the young gunners there.
Yeah.
And I'm talking to him out. And Hervé says loud, you don't gotta worry about nothing. You got 50. Jay-Z doesn't do nothing for these guys like 50 does. And Hervé, I think he worked with them too. But he said that to me, and that always stuck in my head.
There was a new edge in his voice, sharp and cold, like he was saying, forget Tony Yayo, without ever needing to spell it out. The shade was subtle, but cut deep, controlled, confident, and impossible to miss. But that's when things really got wild. See, Yayo's famous for calling out rappers who don't take care of their crew, always loud, always pointing fingers, and now that same loudmouth energy just set off a whole new firestorm. This time, Yayo's target wasn't random. He aimed straight at Jim Jones. Suddenly, it felt like G-Unit versus Dipset all over again. That classic East Coast tension came back like a ghost from the mixtape era. The streets could feel it. Back when 50 Cent, Cameron, and Jim Jones were clashing, the chaos was pure legend. Everyone thought that feud got buried years ago. But nope, it just crawled right out the grave, and this time, it's personal. Yayo showed up on Math Hoffa's podcast and dropped a straight-up bomb. No sugarcoating, no holding back. Just raw accusation. He claimed Jim Jones left stack bundles out in the streets to fend for himself like he wasn't part of the team anymore. That kind of statement shakes the whole culture. That's heavy. The second those words hit the mic, the streets went crazy. Everyone tuned in, waiting for Jim's response. But Yayo didn't walk it back. He doubled down. He said Jim didn't move right, didn't protect his artist, didn't pull Stack out of the trenches when he had the chance. And according to Yayo, that lack of love and protection played a serious role in how things ended for Stack. This wasn't just petty rap gossip. This was a deep, painful accusation that hit straight at the heart of loyalty. If you don't know the backstory, let's break it down. Stack Bundles wasn't just some up-and-coming rapper. He was family to Jim Jones. He was signed under Bird Gang, toured with Jim, and rep Dipset like his life depended on it. The man had New York buzzing, pure talent, pure hunger, pure potential. But when life started crashing down, Stack was still stuck in the same environment he came from. And tragically, that's where everything ended. Right there in the same hood he was fighting to rise out of. People been whispering about this for years, saying Jim didn't do enough to pull Stack out when he had the chance. And here's the coldest rumor of them all. Some even claim Jim ran off with everything that made Stack special. They say he took the style, the slang, the whole wave, all of it. That kind of talk cuts deep because it doesn't just question loyalty, it questions brotherhood. When someone you called family gets hit with that type of betrayal talk, it stings different. Let's be clear though, Stack Bundles wasn't no regular rapper trying to chase fame. He was built different. His energy screamed star power. His style was ahead of its time. The kind of drip people didn't even understand yet, and his flow, that futuristic bounce that made him sound like he was years ahead of the game. If Stack was still here today, he'd be sitting front row at Paris Fashion Week right next to ASAP Rocky, iced out, glowing, and setting trends without even trying. That's how visionary his whole aura was. But that's where the whispers turned into real wounds. The streets kept saying Jim Jones stole Stack's whole style, the flow, the fashion, the vibe, and ran off with it. While the man himself got left behind, that's what made it sting the most. Not just the idea of betrayal, but the heavy silence that followed. Jim, though, he stood on his story from day one, swearing all those rumors are pure cap. He says he gave Stack everything. The money, the shows, the travel, the doors out the hood, all of it. But according to Jim, Stack just wouldn't leave the block behind. He said the streets had a hold on him, too tight, tighter than fame, tighter than brotherhood, tighter than any promise of escape. And that's the part that still eats Jim alive. He said plenty of times, what hurts most isn't the talk or the gossip. It's knowing he tried to save someone who didn't want to be saved. He stands firm on that, chest out, repeating, I never left Stack behind. And you can feel that line? It doesn't sound like PR talk, it sounds like real pain coming from the heart. When Jim opened up about it in that old interview, the emotion hit raw and heavy. His voice cracked mid-sentence, his eyes shifted. You could see that pain through the screen. He looked ready to snap on anyone trying to twist Stack's name for clout. That moment wasn't about fame or trying to fix his image, it was about defending someone he truly called family. You could see the scars in his expression, you could hear the guilt between his words, and you could tell this wound never really healed. What's even crazier is that all this drama started before Tony Yayo even said a word. Jim was already on edge, like he could feel someone was about to test him. Stack Bundles wasn't just another artist to Jim, that was family. Blood, loyalty, and love all tied up in one bond that ran deep. So when the internet started buzzing about missing money, rumors of $25,000 floating around, people asking who paid who, it all sounded small compared to the pain Jim had been carrying for years. Because one thing's clear, Jim's been holding that loss heavy on his heart. So when Yayo finally jumped out there pointing fingers and running with accusations, Jim didn't take it like regular rap gossip. He took it like a full-blown attack. An attack on his name, his loyalty, his heart, and everything he built with Stack Bundles from the ground up. Fast forward to that heated sit-down with Memphis Bleek. The tension was already thick. The second Tony Yayo's name got mentioned, Jim snapped. Bleek tried to keep things cool, tried to play the calm middleman, but Jim wasn't having it. He cut through all the small talk and went off saying, ain't nobody starving over here. My circle eats good. Then he called out all that sponsor talk for what it was, clown behavior. And from there, Jim flipped into full flex mode. He started listing the houses, the cars, the lifestyle, painting the picture like, look, I'm good, my team's good, don't ever play with my name. You could feel the whole energy in the room shift after that. It wasn't just about defending his rep anymore. It was about making sure everyone knew exactly who Jim Jones was and that nobody was gonna question how he moves or how his people eat. This whole thing wasn't just about money, it was about pride. But here's the wild twist that most people completely missed. Tony Yayo never actually called Jim Jones broke, not once. What Yayo really did was throw a jab that hit way deeper than a bank balance. He aimed at Jim's team. Yayo said, Jim's people don't look like they winning. And that right there was the dagger. He wasn't clowning Jim's pockets, he was questioning his leadership, basically saying, if Jim's really up, how come his crew doesn't look like they're eating too? That's what cut deep, because it made it look like Jim was shining solo while his team stayed in the shadows. The shot wasn't about flexing wealth, it was about calling out the structure. The message underneath was, if you're really the boss, your people should move like bosses too. And that's where it stung the most. If Jim had just slowed down, addressed that point, and showed the world his squad was tight, moving strong, winning together, he could have flipped the whole story in his favor. But instead, he jumped straight into flex mode. Houses, cars, luxuries, all that. And even though the energy was loud, it made it look like he was trying too hard to prove something that didn't need proving. But Jim, he wasn't hearing none of that. You could see it in his eyes. The pride hit instantly. To him, Yayo wasn't just talking slick. He was trying to clown him in front of the world. And Jim Jones don't play about his name, his crew, or his legacy. The moment he felt that line cross into disrespect, something snapped. The calm was gone, replaced by pure fire. He barked out loud and clear, ain't nobody feeding me. I built this from the ground up, and that wasn't just talk. That was years of grind, pain, and hustle, spilling straight out of his soul. Jim wanted the whole world to know he wasn't living off anybody's favors. Not from Jay-Z, not from 50 Cent, not from a single soul. He stamped himself as self-made, a man who earned every dollar, every car, every chain through his own grind. And he wanted that message to hit, loud, clear, and with no debate. But instead of letting that powerful statement breathe, instead of letting people feel the realness behind it, Jim pushed it even further. That's when he flipped the tables and fired back, turning his own smoke toward Yayo. He said, Yayo's nothing but a sidekick hiding behind 50 Cent, still moving like a backup dancer in a G-Unit uniform, and boom! That line hit like a grenade going off in the studio. The whole room froze. Even the air got heavy. The vibe flipped from laughs to pure tension in a split second. Bleek tried to jump in, tried to play peacemaker, calm the situation down, but Jim was gone. He wasn't talking for the cameras anymore. This was raw emotion spilling out, pure ego mixed with frustration that had been building for years. By that point, it wasn't even about Tony Yayo anymore. This was everything Jim had been holding in, bubbling beneath the surface, finally breaking loose. You could see it all over his face. Every old comparison, every slick comment, every sly jab about who really takes care of their people. It all came crashing out in one explosive moment. It all came spilling out at once. Years of tension, swallowed pride, and unspoken words finally breaking free. Jim had been holding it in for too long, biting his tongue while others threw shade on his name. But this time, the gloves were off. Jim snapped. He made it crystal clear he wasn't backing down for anybody. Not Yayo, not another rapper in the game, not a soul. He came swinging with straight Harlem energy, loud, confident, and fearless, still flexing, still proving, still showing he's that same hustler from the block who turned street grind into designer living. Jim started naming the whips, the money, the milestones, like he needed to remind the world that he's still that guy. But deep down, this moment wasn't about cars, jewelry, or stacks of cash. It was about respect, legacy, and pride. 3 things Jim refuses to let anyone play with. He felt cornered, called out, underestimated. And when he fired back, it wasn't just a clap back, it was a warning. And Yayo, man, he didn't flinch. He didn't walk it back or clean it up for the cameras. He stayed calm, smug even, and hit back in his own slick way. No yelling, no arguing, no wild rants. Just one silent, cold move that spoke louder than any diss track ever could. Tony Yayo didn't drop a record. He didn't post a ranting video. He didn't even explain himself. All he did was hit repost on a photo of Jim Jones's arch nemesis, Max B. No caption, no emojis, no explanation. Nothing. Just that one image sitting on his page like a ticking bomb, and the second it dropped, the internet erupted. Fans went wild, timelines blew up, and every comment section turned into a war zone. That one quiet post said everything. It was pure chess, not checkers, and it reminded everyone that Yayo knows exactly how to stir the pot without saying a word. That one repost said more than 1,000 verses ever could. Pure disrespect served ice cold. No words, no shade, just a move so bold it spoke volumes all by itself. Fans instantly split into 2 camps. Some rolled with Jim, saying he had every right to defend his name, his crew, and the empire he built from scratch. They saw a man standing his ground, protecting everything he earned through hustle and pain. But others, they said Yayo just said what everybody else was too scared to say out loud. They claimed Jim's explosion didn't come from confidence, it came from guilt, that maybe, just maybe, the truth Yayo threw out there hit a little too close to home. And that's why this whole mess had the entire culture talking. Because for once, nobody could really call who won the exchange. So now the mic's on you. Whose side are you on? Team Jim Jones or Team Tony Yayo? Was Jim just defending his legacy, or did Yayo expose something deeper? Drop your take in the comments and let the world know where you stand. And before you dip, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you don't miss what's coming next, because this saga's just heating up. And trust me, the next chapter's about to get way crazier.